where you been and where you going. This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
I've only been to Colombia. That's as far south as I've gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that people that go to Asia don't go to South America. They're the two cheap areas. And then
I would
Africa's
like
another
to go.
thing.
I would like to explore more of South America.
Yeah.
I went to Colombia over COVID because it was one of the few countries you could travel to.
It was on our list for that reason. We narrowed it down to where can we get banded in
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and who would take Americans. And also who was good on COVID or not terrible on COVID. So Brazil was out. We're like, this is
Yeah, it was crazy
it's a mess
down there.
But a lot of people were as good as us or better. I mean, we weren't that great on it, with numbers wise for who knows reasons. But like, so Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador. I'm trying to think what else. Malta.
Croatia, I think maybe it was allowing people.
There were some that were like, you can work remotely here. They have those digital nomad laws.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I don't want to be in fucking Prague in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let's go someplace warm.
Yeah.
So we just narrowed it down. But yeah, Ecuador was fucking ruled.
Sweet.
Here's the cool thing about there versus Asia. Every country talks the same. You switch borders and you're still talking the same language.
Yeah.
Versus going from Laos to Thailand, and we're like,
can you speak Spanish fluently or?
Better? No, I can get by though for food and shit, food and a place to stay.
Okay.
I can definitely get by. I can use the wrong word to have the right meaning.
Yeah.
Do you have bed? It's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
do you have rooms open? Mm-hmm. It's like they'll get it.
Yeah, I think I know like survival Chinese and then survival Spanish.
What do you speak? Mandarin or?
Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't my Mandarin is not good, but I just know survival. Like you could drop me in the middle of China and I could at least find a hotel.
Damn, that's great.
Yeah.
That's what you need. That's like the first level.
That's all you need.
Can I get by here? Can I live?
Yeah.
Not live, but like exist,
Yeah, because I arrived not knowing how to speak a single word.
Why'd you get there?
Except for
Why'd you
ni
go?
hao. So I graduated from college and really had no idea what I wanted to do. And my friend went abroad to Shanghai and he loved it so much that he just didn't go back to college. He just dropped out of college and was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stay in Shanghai.
Wow, really?
So he was a year below me, but I was graduating and I've always loved traveling. So he was like, you can get a teaching job out in China very easily. You should just move out here for a year and then you can use your vacations and holidays to travel around Asia. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that sounds great. And I didn't know a word of Chinese. So I was like, all right, I'll go out. And I applied for a couple teaching jobs. I got them. They'll really take anyone. And I just told the school, I was like, all right, I'll move to China, but I want to be living with another foreign teacher and just be like living in the city, like somewhere downtown. And then when I arrived, I was like living in the burbs of Guangzhou my first year and living alone.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's lonely.
That was lonely. I remember I checked into my apartment in China. They had like a framed photo of Lizzie McGuire on the bedside table. I don't know why. Maybe they thought that would be comforting. It was kind of comforting, to be honest. So my first 2 weeks, I was like, all right, I'm going to quit and come home. This sucks. But on Halloween, because I lived so far out, the buses would stop running at like 10 at night and start back up at 6 in the morning. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to like stay out and party all night. And that night I met some people from Liverpool who had been there for a bit and they kind of took me under their wing. I met all their friends and ended up having a blast. And then just every weekend I would stay with them. We became close friends. And so I stayed that year. And,
You know how you watch football at all?
A little bit.
Okay, so you know how like a receiver will catch the ball and he has to
stay
in
I
bounds.
thought you were talking
dancing.
about yes.
Yeah, no, yeah, American football.
Yes.
And they're kind of dancing in bounds, trying to get to that first down or the touchdown.
Yes.
And they're kind of leaned out of bounds. But their feet are just staying in.
Yeah.
And if they can get past the first down, it's first down. But if they don't, well, that was fourth turnover.
Yes.
I feel like that's like when you go to a crazy foreign place. You're like, if I could just make a friend before I book my flight home, I could stay for a year.
Yes.
And it's like, it's so close to like, I'm not meeting anybody, I'm out. It sounds like if they were just better buses, you'd be out of there.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, and how I met these guys is absurd. I was There was one other person teaching kind of near me, and so we were playing a game at a bar where we're at this Irish pub in Guangzhou, China, and so there's a lot of foreigners from all over the world, and we're just trying to guess where they're from, and then we walk up and ask them, and then if I'm right, like my friend has to buy me a beer. If I'm wrong, I have to buy him a beer. We kind of like turned it into a game, and I guessed that this larger Liverpudlian lad was British. I thought he was from the U.S. because he was kind of like fat and bald. I just maybe assumed that.
Sounds right.
And then he was like, "No, mate, I'm from Liverpool." And I was like, "Oh, you're British." And he was like, "I'm not British. I'm a Scouser," because people from Liverpool just hate England for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, cool." And then he was like, I think the second thing he asked me was like, "By the way, mate, do you like drugs?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, sure." And then just hands me a bag of white powder.
What?
And then I was like, all right, I guess I'll try some. I assumed it was Coke, but after doing it, I could tell it was not. It was not cocaine.
What was it?
It was Meow Meow.
No, that's Meow Meow. I was about to change the subject to ask you what the fuck you meant by that. What's Meow Meow?
I think like Chinese factories like changed. They found a loophole where if you changed a couple bonds in MDMA, it was legal for a bit. And so these factories would just make it until China would close the loophole. I think it's pretty much probably what they were selling in the U.S. as bath salts, or like it was sold in the U.K. as like plant food, but that was just they would just say it's that so they could export it abroad. It ended up being a lot of fun, honestly, but that could go very wrong too if you get the wrong batch of some like weird Chinese factory drug.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got lucky, and like this guy in Liverpool he was the headmaster at a school in China, but then on the weekends was like just slanging this stuff all over the city.
He's white?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was white.
Damn.
I assume you asked that because I think like China's known for the Nigerians are usually the drug dealers.
It's funny in Asia and almost anywhere though. Also like Europe. It's like, how do you find weed? How do you find hash? One or the other. And it's like, just look for the fucking black guy, like the dark black, the Nigerians. And it's like they're cool, but that's who's, especially in China, like they're stick out.
It's always Nigeria, like because I've met people from all over Africa when I was in China, and if they weren't from Nigeria, they weren't selling drugs. But the moment you met an African from Nigeria, there's a good chance they would eventually try to sell you drugs.
That's the least racist thing you can do. It's not about the African continent. It's about Nigeria.
Yes, it's just about that one country.
Yeah.
And because at one point I had this Nigerian friend, and like we were hanging out for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my God, this is the first Nigerian guy who's not dealing drugs. And then after the second week, he eventually tried to sell me drugs. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's just building up to it.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I didn't even start this podcast correctly. I got to introduce you to shit.
Okay.
That'll all be in, I guess. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Be Trippin. It's the only podcast that tests for and makes sure there is no fecal matter in this broadcast. Today's guest is the son of Beef Wonton and Don Bori. Please welcome the Wonton Don.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
It's a slash, right? Your first name is the and your last name is Wonton/Don?
Yeah, or you can just do first name Wonton, last name Don.
Oh, I thought first name was the. And then like your mom and dad.
Yeah, well, I can like you can. I'm not like the Ohio State University. Like you can call me Wonton Don.
Oh, you can just call you Wonton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is your name Don?
No,
or
it's not.
You're just the Don of wontons.
I'm just the Don of wontons. I make a mean crab rangoon. If you're a fan.
Disgusting. It's got cream cheese.
Are you kosher?
No, but I don't want cream cheese.
You don't like cream cheese?
Not that much.
Okay. I mean, I think it's my favorite food.
I've had it in Yangon.
I'm kind of insulted. What?
I was like, I'm here in Yangon. I should try crab rangoon.
Wait, they actually sell them in Yangon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because it was invented in the U.S. So like,
interesting.
Yeah, so like it really has no connection to Burma. It was just
wow. I mean, maybe they're doing it for tourists.
A cool sounding name, but yeah, that would because I've always wondered that. That's like the one reason I've wanted to go to Yangon, which used to be called Rangoon. To see if I could, because I was like, if they don't, I want to like open up a Rangoon shop in Rangoon. But you were able to find some there?
Yeah, and I was like, I may as well get some.
Okay.
But it might have been Chinatown, and it might have just been the American part of town where they're like, you'll probably want this.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I definitely found, I was like, well, I'm here, I should try it. And I'm like, oh, cream cheese.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in China, you can't find a crab rangoon. In New York, I will say New York has really bad crab rangoons. Maybe that's why you don't like them.
No, but I only had it in Rangoon.
In Rangoon. That is hilarious. You can find them there.
Yeah. It's just like, whenever I get a bagel, I'm like, make it light on the cream cheese. And they go, sweet, a lot of light cream cheese? And you're like, no, stop. It's fucking, you squeeze it, it just all pours out.
Yeah, I don't
Relax.
like a bagel overstuffed with cream cheese.
God
damn. For some reason, cream cheese and fake crab works.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's the fake crab. It's what's that sushi with the fake crab?
I don't know the Japanese name for it. I just call them crab sticks or whatever.
Well, no, there's a crab sushi where it's fake crab meat.
California roll?
California roll, yeah.
Okay,
and that's got cream cheese in it too, right?
No, that's a Philly roll.
That's a Philly roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody. Oh, Shaffir, and I just want to break in real quick to tell you a little bit about the guest. Wonton Don is a traveler. He's a traveling psychonaut. That's what he calls himself. He's great. You should follow all his stuff. He legitimately gets out there. He makes me jealous of what he does. He'll be on. We have a few people on this podcast that are going to be on numerous times, and Don is one. Don, if you're listening to this from wherever you are, please, every time you're in New York, come back. Let's get an episode in the can. Let's upload it. You can check him out on, hold on, I've got it all right here. TikTok is the Wonton Don. YouTube is Donnie Does. Forget Facebook. He's on Barstool Sports a lot. And Instagram, the Wonton Don. Check out all his information there. For myself, I got the farewell tour coming right now. Oops, I'm not talking to the mic. I got the farewell tour coming. I got shows in, well, Austin sold out. I got Tahoe, Nevada. Oh, fuck. You ready to go back, man? Let's go back. Tahoe, Nevada. Whoa. All tickets are arishaffir.com. It's a farewell tour. If I mention one of your cities, I will be there, and I will probably not be there again until 2029, except for Austin and Denver. Austin, December 13th, sold out. December 21st, Tahoe. Then next year, we got Pittsburgh, Providence, Salt Lake City, Brea. Adrian Appalucci will be with me in Pittsburgh and Providence. Salt Lake, I said, Brea, Nashville. Adrian will be with me on that. San Antonio, we're in February now. San Antonio, Tampa, Denver is the greatest hit show. And then Schaumburg, Illinois, Adrian will be with me for that. Also Atlanta, the Tabernacle, Portland at the theater, San Jose, we're in March now, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Seattle, theaters, big theaters. Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and wrapping up in June 18th in Anchorage, Alaska. And then no more touring for me till 2027. And if I'm mentioning one of those cities, I'm not going to be there till probably, minimum 2028, probably 2029. So a lot of these guys, where's the lighting better? Whoa, that's fucking freaky. Where's Bandit? Hey, buddy. So get tickets right now at arishaffir.com. And my new special, America's Sweetheart, coming to Netflix January 14th. That's right, guys. America's Sweetheart. It's all about positivity and focusing on the good parts of life, like this podcast. Yeah, if you can get a fucking great travel podcast from one of the most well-known edgelords in the world, what else positive can you find in negative things? Yeah, a guy who's like, you're telling me you're taking a guy who takes his balls out and dick out on stage, who fucking traumatizes children at Madison Square Garden by having his balls out in front of, that was the Forum, by having his dick and balls out and kind of rubbing them a little bit at the Forum, the place where Kobe Bryant played. What? He pulled his dick out of a Kobe Bryant jersey for that? That's not cool. I'll never get anything positive out of that. No, there's a travel podcast. And my new special is all about that kind of vibe. America's Sweetheart, January 14th, only on Netflix. You pooping, buddy? Let's get back to the episode. Also, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening. I love this thing. Join in forever. Bye. Don, where are we going today? What are you going to tell me about? What did we decide on?
Well, we're going to touch on the story in Laos, which
Okay.
I think was my most absurd travel story.
Okay, Laos is great. I have had someone else go there, which is fine. We're going to repeat stuff. He spent most of his time in a hospital.
Okay.
So-
I surprisingly never ended up in a hospital. I probably should have gone to a hospital.
When'd you go? Where was it? When'd you go? Why?
So yeah, I already sort of explained how I ended up in China. We can throw that part in here.
Yeah. Well, you already aired it.
Yeah. So part of the reason of going out to China for a year is that on my holidays and vacations, I can just travel to the other countries in Southeast Asia, which I had heard great things about.
Cheap flights too, right?
Yeah, very cheap
like
flights.
Dragon Air and shit. It's just like,
yeah,
it's
they
like
have
$50.
Spring Airlines. It's like their kind of Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
So I had heard about this place in Laos called Vang Vieng. Have you?
I've heard of it. I never
Okay.
got there. I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
I got into Buddhism for a minute, so I was like, let me try to go to a monastery instead of heading over there, and
Okay.
then ran out of time.
Yeah, well, the whole
Tell me
thing
about it.
Vang Vieng is there's this river that runs near the town, and they have you
Almost
can
been there.
rent a tube, float down the river, and then along it they have all these bars that have like rope swings, slides, trampolines, and then they also like sell shrooms at all these spots.
Buddy, I was just in Yosemite doing shrooms, floating on a river on a blow-up
It's-
paddleboard. There's something, because I floated a few times, but on booze and weed.
Yeah.
There's something to like letting the river, especially when it's not moving fast, just very slowly, and then you hit like a branch or something, and it kind of turns you, and you're just leaning back, and so then it just changes what you're looking at, and then you see Half Dome suddenly, and you're on boomers, and you're just like, wow. And there's not like, all right, move on. You're already moving.
Yeah,
And if you got to
it's
catch
heaven.
up, it's 3 paddles, and you're there.
Nothing better than
Oh
taking
my
boomers
God,
and
God, I
floating.
got to go there now. They sell mushrooms?
Yeah, they'll sell shroom shakes. And I looked
Happy
behind
shakes.
the bar to see how they make them. It's pretty much just a bunch of ice bananas and then like a couple scoops of shrooms.
Just like grind them up?
Yeah, then they throw it in a blender. Yeah, so that
How
place,
much are those?
this was a long time ago,
Okay.
but they weren't that expensive.
They weren't like
Yeah.
restrictive.
Yeah, they were probably like $10. Yeah.
I heard in Thailand there was always like these hippies would go to like, there's a mushroom sanctuaries or whatever, the humane ones and the inhumane ones, and all these hippies would go after hours and like pick shrooms off.
Yes.
And they were like, I don't know what they're doing. They're just going to the fucking shit fields. Who cares? And then they realized what they were doing, and they're like, oh, no, we're selling those. Get out of here.
Okay,
it was like
yeah.
shake for weed where they're like, you can use it. And then they're like, oh, there's money in this.
Oh, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in Thailand, if you go to any of the islands off the coast, you can usually find a stand selling shroom shakes there too.
Mm-hmm.
Vang Vieng's wild though. Like the first restaurant I went in there, they also were selling joints of opium. Like you could buy weed pizzas, like shroom pizzas. So,
Openly.
Yeah.
How'd they get away with it? Just pay the cops or just...
Yeah, maybe like that brings in so much tourism money that they can just pay off the cops.
There was one place in Cambodia on an island I went to, and one place in like Pai I went to,
Ah, yes.
and it was like,
I went to the place in Pai you're probably thinking of.
yeah, and they're like, we pay the cops,
Yeah. Okay.
like, and they're like, because we pay them, they don't allow anyone else to do it. Everyone knows we're the ones with the whatever. I was like, how do you sell joints on the beach in Thailand? Sometimes like, we're friends with the cops. We pay them, and then we're allowed. It's not that big a deal.
Thailand, though, a couple years ago, I think they legalized weed. Finally, because I was like hearing about friends that used to get caught smoking weed on the beach, and the cops would be like, "You need to pay us $4,000, or you're going to jail for 10 years." So you
Wow.
think they would have to find that money somehow.
You can't call their bluff on that.
But yeah, no, I think the last time I checked, weed was
Yeah, I heard
legalized
people like
in
smoking.
Thailand.
You want something? Like, sure. I'm like, I'm a cop. I'm arresting you. I saw you do it. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, motherfucker. They were like, don't smoke with anyone you don't know. But then I talked to Thai people, and they're like, we smoke all the time outside.
Yeah, they're probably more trying to bust the tourists at that point because they
It's
know
shakedowns.
they can get a lot of bribe money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I first arrived, I immediately realized that I had lost my camera, and this was before I had a smartphone, because this was maybe
Yeah. Keep talking.
2010.
Yeah. Nice.
We're recording, nice.
Yeah, I'm just DIY, so I fuck it up constantly. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so
You lost your smartphone? Oh,
No, I lost my camera because this was before I had a smartphone.
Okay.
So that camera was like how I was going to document the whole trip. So I was a little upset, but I was like, whatever. We're going to go to the river and do a bunch of shrooms.
you make me want to smoke a joint right now. Go ahead.
And it was awesome, like, as you said, just floating down the river, and then you would go off a rope swing, a slide. You could also get a bucket of booze. But then at one point they had a trampoline that was in the river, and it had one of those black safety nets that goes all the way around it, so you can't jump from the trampoline into the river.
Okay.
But this is when the shrooms were really hitting, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna free willy it, get up really high and jump over the safety net, and then dive into the river. So I jump. I only just barely clear the safety net and then just flop immediately down face first into the river. I didn't realize the river was like 3 feet deep or something. And I just nailed the rocks. Like,
fuck.
I could have easily broke my neck, but I think it kind of like deflected off my forehead and then mainly hit my back.
People drown there every week.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, from what I've heard, from Colin told me too, it's like it's like constantly they're like, "Hey, take it easy today. I don't want to tell you why."
Yeah. No, actually, I'll get to that later because
Okay.
I think they eventually had to close the whole place down for a bit. So yeah, I get up and I'm like super banged up, kind of bleeding from the head and the back, and I walk up to one of the bars and I'm like, "Do you guys have anything that could help me?" And they just hand me a plastic cup of whiskey.
What?
Yeah, that's all.
That's the help?
Yeah, that was the help. So like,
What an old West fucking remedy.
I know. So I
Drink this and bite down.
sit on a bench and like I start sipping the whiskey and I'm looking around, and at one point I was like, you know what? Maybe I died back there because this is paradise. Like I'm looking around, everyone's having a beautiful time. There's beautiful like karst limestone mountains around you, and I was like,
damn.
Did I die? Because like this seems like heaven. Eventually doze off, which is dangerous if you've had a concussion. I don't know if I had a concussion. And then when I wake up, most people have left and I'm just surrounded by chickens, like walking around. And so I was like, all right, I got to get back into town. So I head into town and
In Vang Vieng?
yeah, I head into downtown Vang Vieng. I find the friend that I'm there with, and we go out to eat, and we kind of regroup. The shrooms aren't really hitting anymore. And that's when a guy walks up to our table, and he was like, "Do you guys want some yaba? You want some yaba?" And I had never heard the word yaba before, and I was intrigued. Like, I'm the type of guy who will try everything once.
Anal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, and like yaba sounds exotic. It sounds cool. I'll
Is it
try
weed?
it. I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
So he brings over these two like purple pills, and they look like homemade pills or something like that. And I was like, all right, let's go. I take the pill, and then like a half hour later, my heart starts beating really fast, and I start getting really jacked up, and I'm like, let's go hit the bars. Like, let's go rage. And so I get up, I walk out of the restaurant, and I'm walking really fast. I get like 3 blocks away from the restaurant. I turn around, my friend's gone. I later learned out that my friend got up and just had fainted, had like fainted in the restaurant. Like all the staff came over to help him. That was the last I saw of him for like 36 hours.
What?
Because at that point I was like, oh shit, where'd he go? And I looked for a bit, I couldn't find him. I kept on walking. So yeah, I'm still like super amped up. I go to a few bars and, you know, I'm just moving around constantly. I'm sort of chewing my cheeks. And then I asked this Australian bro there, and I'm like, hey, I just took something called yaba. Have you ever heard of that? And he's like, oh, mate, that's just another word for meth.
Oh, damn it.
And so, yeah, it was just
Damn it.
straight up crystal meth.
Oh, my God. Laotian crystal meth.
Yes. Laotian crystal meth. So, I don't know. Have you ever tried Adderall before?
Yeah.
It was kind of like if I had taken 20 Adderalls. Like
Damn.
20 pills of Adderall. Like you're just fucking so jacked
The
up.
problem with Adderall is you take it like, all right, I gotta write this story. I gotta like sit and write and concentrate.
Yes.
And then, or like I gotta clean my apartment. I gotta sweep and do everything. I'm too unfocused. I'll just focus. And then you're so focused. You're like, well, let me rearrange. Let me take everything off the closets. Let me take all this out, repack, refold. And then you're like, you still haven't cleaned anything. By the time it wears off 5-6 hours later, everything's a mess.
Yeah. I'll use it sometimes for video editing. It can be very helpful if you have to just like focus on a task.
Can I tell you my drug I invented? I'd like to invent. If there's any scientists out there, please run with this. It's called Tardol. It makes you temporarily autistic, so you can concentrate. You can do your work. You don't need any social functions. You don't need to be able to like talk at the right level around women or stuff. You're just focused on your homework or fucking counting jelly beans.
That sounds a lot like Adderall, to be honest, because I'm not very social whenever I take that.
Yeah.
And probably can't talk to women on it. But I like that idea.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm going from bar to bar. At some point, I lose my flip-flops, but when you're like on meth, you don't feel pain. So I'm just like, I'm walking on these gravel roads for the whole night, not feeling any sort of pain.
It's coming though.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. And I end up not being able to find our guest house. And Vang Vieng's not a large town.
Where were you staying? What kind of place?
It was just, it wasn't like a hostel where you had dorm beds. We did have our own room. I think me and my friend had like one room with 2 beds in it.
Okay. I guess that was behind someone else's house.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a small hotel.
Okay. Like a really shitty B&B?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought
But
I know what
I
you meant.
like, first, my friend had the key that had the address on it, and it's just, I couldn't figure out where I was staying.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm out like all night. Eventually, this is like the next day, I'm like, all right, I should try to lie down.
The next day, you've just been up the whole time.
Yeah, and like I'm still wired from this.
Wow.
Yaba
I mean, the
pill.
problem
Like,
is with Molly sometimes it's like, oh, the percentage of speed is too high. And then I'm like, no, I know you cannot fall asleep at 6 a.m. I can't fall asleep until 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn. But you just took straight that ingredient.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing to like cut it with or ease the effects.
Wow.
Yeah. So I still have no interest in sleeping, but I'm like, I at least need a room for a little bit. So I just book another guest house. I get into it. I remember I smoke a cig and then I try to lie down and sleep for a little bit. When I wake up, the cig has somehow lit my pillow on fire. And so there's just like smoke everywhere. So I'm like, oh shit. I take the pillow. I dunk it in the toilet. I dunk it in the toilet for like 20 seconds. I take it out. It's still on fire. I dunk it for like a minute. I take it out. It's still on fire.
What?
So I just leave it in the toilet bowl and leave the hotel I'm at. Because I'm like, all right, I've already lost my security deposit. I at least made sure the whole place wasn't going to burn down.
Fair. Fair. You did the right thing.
Yeah. So I leave the place and I'm still like, I'm still wandering around for
This
like
is what time of day?
that was probably 7 the following morning.
Wow. He just gave you the yaba or you bought it?
I bought it. It was dirt cheap though.
Dirt cheap. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm back on the streets, probably wander around listening to music for another 8 hours. I swear that at some point a bar owner tried to prank me because when you're on meth,
Tried
you're
to
also he pulled a prank on me. I swear this happened. I was at a bar and when you're on meth, you get like super paranoid. I swear a bar owner
word for
brought
it.
me a phone at some point and was like, excuse me, sir, your mom's on the phone. And like I had a straight up panic attack. But then I got on the phone, I'm like, hello, and no one was there. I think he was just trying to fuck with me. He was probably like, oh, this guy's clearly on yaba. Probably has to be super
it's not
paranoid.
the first time he's seen it. He's
Yeah.
a bar and he's probably seen someone else like this.
Yeah,
And he's like,
yeah.
I know what that is.
Chewing their cheeks.
Yeah. Tripoli pointed that out to me one time. Sam Tripoli, we were at I think Brea Improv, and somebody was getting kicked out and they wouldn't leave. And then eventually it was like, all right, we'll call the cops. Like you're out of here, but you're not out of here. So the cops were coming. Maybe there's a fight. I forget what it doesn't matter. But all the waitresses were around the cops, and one of them was just kept clenching her cheek. And Sam was like, "It's coke." And I'm like, because I didn't really know what it looked like on people.
Oh yeah.
I was like, how you know? He's like, look at her cheeks. It was clench,
Yeah.
clench.
Also, if you're like moving your jaw back and forth.
Yeah, she was trying to be cool, and it's almost like, get out of the cops' area.
Yeah.
Don't try to prove your innocence. Just don't be around.
Yep.
Anyway.
So eventually I went to one of these bars they have there, which are pretty cool. There are all these lounge chairs and pillows.
Yeah.
And then they have TVs with all these old school VHSs, and you can just like put in a movie, chill,
that's
and
cool.
watch it. So like I smoked some weed. I remember putting in Batman Forever, and I just like chilled and watched the movie.
Wait, on a little screen or on the big?
Yeah, it's not a large TV at
Just
all.
right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like an internet cafe, but for...
Oh no, it's not right. Like there's like all these pillows on the ground. So if like some other people want to join you,
That's cool.
watch the movie. Yeah, it was a very chill vibe.
Yeah.
And while watching Batman Forever, my friend like walked into that same bar. And so I finally found him, and we were able to
What did he get
find
into?
the guest house. He was like, yeah, the last time I saw you, we both got up to leave the restaurant, and he just fainted. And like all the staff came and brought him some water, and he started to feel better after like an hour and just went back to the guest house. And then he was like, I was wondering where you were, but I don't know.
I thought maybe you got lucky.
I couldn't track you down.
Hi guys, today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by Public Rec. They make great pants with comfort and style. Here's the deal. I wore them dancing in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba. I wanted to be stylish, but I also wanted to be comfortable. I've got 20 extra pounds on me right now. Maybe 18. I've lost a couple. I ate a piece of fish. Public Rec understands that you're bulging in places where you shouldn't be, and they have stretchy, fun, stylish, and comfortable pants. Act like someone who's writing for SNL when they come into the comedy club. Everybody who writes for SNL, you can tell they got a job because they come in wearing sweatpants. But dress in the style of a John Mulaney, who comes in wearing a suit and a trench coat. He looks like a spy in East Berlin or West Berlin. I forget which one's which. In the 30s it'd be the 50s. The point is, guys, you want style, you want comfort. Look no further than Public Rec. They got me there. They got me twirling some Afro-Cuban chick. Oh, it was a blast. It was a real blast. Public Rec got me there. And they got a deal just for you guys to save money. Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time only, my listeners get 20% off. That's a pretty good one. When you use the code TRIPPIN at checkout. That's 20% off with the code TRIPPIN at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support my show and tell them I sent you. Give yourself or someone you love the gift of comfort this holiday season. Guys, they are good quality pants and they're comfortable. Get them. Wear them. Enjoy yourself. Let your balls have a day off. Bandit. Oh, hi, everybody. Today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by Shopify.com. Bandit. Whatever you're selling online, Shopify will help you get there by setting up your online platform, reaching out to your customers, making everything quite easy, and setting it up for you. Bandit, come on. And what I'm selling online at Shaffir.com is my lost dog. He keeps running away, and I'm sick of it, so I'm selling him. Shopify will help you get there for whatever stage of business you're in. Bandit, come on. You can be in the startup phase. You can be in the selling whole litters of dogs. It's up to you. With Shopify.com, they can help your business from start to finish. I use them, and so should you. And they got a promo code they gave me that you guys can use to save extra money. Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%? What? This is crazy. They're so good. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that I use. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at Shopify.com/trippin. That's all lowercase. Bandit! Go to Shopify.com/trippin to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/trippin. Bandit, come on. Oh, you're going to be so for sale.
So finally we go back to the guest house, and after maybe 36 hours, I managed to fall asleep. And this is when I start, like, the yaba starts finally wearing off.
Oh, what a great feeling when fucking speedy stuff starts to leave you.
No, this was a horrible feeling. Because when you're on the yaba, you couldn't feel pain. And then when I finally start to sober up, I realized that the bottoms of my feet are like shredded. Like I had cuts all over my feet, and I chewed my cheeks so much that I had cuts like all on my cheeks.
You were John McClane? What's his name?
John McClane's the guy from Die Hard.
Yeah, we had to run over the glass.
Oh yes,
He's like, I got it, or I'll die.
I was. So then for like the next 4 days, I couldn't like eat solid foods, and I could like barely walk.
From meth.
Just from meth, and
Tell me about Laos. The meth is out of control.
Yeah, I thought like yaba sounded kind of like.
I thought it might be
cutesy.
weed.
Yeah, it sounds like something that that might be weed. And so, so that's the Nazis used to take meth before going to battle, and that now makes perfect sense.
You ever? Yeah,
because like when you were on it, I felt no pain, and you need zero sleep, and you don't need food.
Yeah, you can fight for 2 straight days. Like, all right, let's relieve me.
Yeah, and I think actually like.
Did you ever see Hitler at like the Olympics on?
Oh yes,
it's so funny.
Yep.
Put that in. He's just like, let's go.
Yeah, I have seen that
how's
clip.
This black guy winning?
Yeah. That's what I looked like.
Wow. Oh yeah, a bartender would be like, let me fuck with this guy.
Yeah, but I mean, if I ever like had to go to war, hopefully I don't. I would probably want to be taking a little meth.
God damn.
And I think that's what the militant groups in the Middle East, like ISIS and stuff, I think they were also taking. There's like a pill called Captagon that's the most popular drug in the Middle East, and that is pretty much just meth. And I think a lot of them take that.
Really?
Yeah.
Just to fight her. You know, the Vikings would take those blue meanies or those.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. And it was like you get your arm cut off, and you're like, "Fuck, that hurt," but okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, they would go into full berserker mode.
Berserker, yeah, the berserker mushroom. That's what it is.
The berserker shroom. They would work themselves up into a frenzy and then go
and
to
people
battle.
are like, "These guys are nuts."
Yeah. Being sober in war would be rough. I feel like you at least need a few drinks in you.
It seems though, it's like, yeah, the berserker shroom. But I'd hate if I was like the general of the army. Well, let's all take these berserkers, and then I'll start going like this. It's like not the best.
Yeah, shrooms would not be my drug of choice for combat.
Yeah, I'm sure they tested it.
Yeah, so like the next 5 days were sort of ruined, but I ended up, I think from there we went to Cambodia and then Thailand for a bit, and like
Just one big trip.
yeah, we did like a little loop around there.
That's the path.
Yeah, that's what like
Thailand and Cambodia. Yeah, I mean that's actually, I ran out of time. I was in Thailand, in the north.
Yeah.
And I was like gonna go up there and take the river. From hold on, Chiang Rai is up near there.
Yes.
And then I was like
Chiang Mai.
What
Yep.
Chiang Mai's over here, and then Chiang Rai's over by the border.
Okay.
And then but I ran out. But it was supposed to be Laos and then Cambodia, and then instead I just jumped to Cambodia. But it's the same people everywhere at the hostels and shit.
Yeah. And then I mean if you're like really on a budget, you can get a hostel room for like $9 if you want.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how affordable it is. Even cheaper sometimes if you want to go like
Yeah.
the lower version of that, which I'm like, it's already fucking low.
And then if you pay $50 in Thailand, you can stay at like a nice resort with a beautiful pool on the beach.
Was Laos like that?
Yeah, I'm sure Laos was like that back then because like Laos was probably even cheaper than Thailand at the time.
I think so, because Thailand's set up kind of for tourism, and Laos and Cambodia like somewhat, but not like Thailand.
Yeah. And then did you go to Yangon on that same trip or?
Yeah, I started in Yangon.
Okay,
trip.
cool.
So I just looked for like, got all my visas I needed. Like Thailand's on arrival, so I didn't need it. Vietnam was ahead of time, and they give you like in the next 6 months you got 1 month.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I don't know about Cambodia or Myanmar, whatever. I went to some like consulates here, but then I just waited till like 2 days before, and I looked for who has the best weather for the next 10 days.
Nice.
And so it was Myanmar.
You went to Myanmar at the perfect time because there was a window. Like for a while, they were like, it's too dangerous to go. Then they opened up to tourism. And then I think it's like recently gotten pretty dangerous again, and they're not recommending people go.
That's why they changed their name from Rangoon to Yangon, and from Burma to Myanmar.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, because the military dictatorship sort of thing.
Yeah, it was like, there's some bad press. Let's just not be Burma.
Yeah.
We're not Burma. I don't know what you're talking about.
And they also they didn't want to be still related to the British because I think
Oh, interesting.
British were the ones who probably named it Rangoon when its actual name was Yangon, but they were like, we
really?
can't.
It went back.
Because they like the British changed names everywhere. Like Beijing used to be Peking.
That's why Peking duck.
Yep, and Peking ravioli. Have you ever had those?
I
think that's only a Massachusetts thing, but that's what they call dumplings.
Oh, wow.
Peking ravioli.
So what was the food like in Laos? Like, what kind of food do they have?
Dude, I was not eating a lot.
Wow.
This was like in 2010, so I
How
don't
old were you?
recall. I was just out of college. This was
Perfect
like
time to go.
Yeah. So I honestly couldn't tell you much about Laotian food. I can tell you a lot about Thai food. Thai food's
Well, that's the
awesome.
next episode.
Yeah.
Did you meet any of the people? Who'd you meet generally? I would guess like foreigners.
Yes. Foreigners. One island I went to like Koh Chang in Thailand. That had a lot of Russians there.
Okay.
I think
Laos. We're
that's
talking Laos.
Oh, in Laos, a lot of Australians.
Nice.
Yeah. And then
They're so fun.
yeah, they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They can drink.
They can drink.
And pretty much, I feel like a Southeast Asia loop is like a rite of passage for Australians.
Well, it's cheap
'Cause-
to go from there to there.
Yeah.
That's the closest place.
It's a very
Start in
short
Bali.
flight.
Start in Bali or Thailand, but Bali's right there.
So that's the majority of the people you meet. I remember I met this one Canadian guy, but he sounded American. And I was like, oh, are you from the U.S.? And he got very offended. It's like,
Fuck
dude,
off.
I know.
Shut
it's
up.
like,
Fuck
relax,
off.
dude.
Oh, you don't think you sound like you're from the place right next to you?
Yeah. But so a side note about Vang Vieng, I heard
Yeah.
like a year after I went, there was one day where 3 Australians died, all on the same day, separate accidents. Like
Separate accidents.
Separate
Drowning.
accidents. Yeah, so they probably drowned or did something like I did, dove into the rocks.
Wow.
And that's when the government came in and
Bad press.
and they were like, you need to close down all these. I mean,
Is this kind of what it
that
look like?
no, that looks.
This
Search
is
them.
nice.
Search like Vang Vieng tubing or something,
Oh, yeah.
because that looks like way too calm and subdued. That's starting to look. I think that's the very.
Damn, do they have
Start
this?
of
Like
it.
a big balloon over it? Vang Vieng tubing. Okay, I'll look that up.
And so then the government came in. I think they forced them to close all of the Riverside bars for.
No.
They were closed for maybe like
A lot of deaths, I
2
guess.
or 3 years, but now I have heard they're starting to open back up. Yeah, like that one. If you go over to your right,
This?
yeah, if you hit that one.
Play
Yeah,
it.
like that's something you can.
Uh-oh.
this
No,
music.
absolutely not. Oh, it's just a promo video. Oh, like
Yeah,
that?
they got. Things
looks like me.
that.
Was that me without hair? Was I there and not known?
And these like the water slides and the rope swings are all pretty
Wow.
shoddily made.
Yeah, I mean, like, who built that? A fucking carny?
Yeah,
Look at all these whites.
it's
having a blast. Look how happy they
Yeah.
all are.
What it-
buckets? Did you drink buckets?
Yep. Drank some buckets.
Dude, buckets are, look, oh my God. Australia, if you send a bucket to an Australian, they're just like game on.
Yeah, if you're just and they will just do Red Bull vodka buckets. And that, I mean, if you drink enough Red Bull vodka buckets, that's gonna feel like meth after a
You're just
while.
up. Wow.
They also sometimes I saw this more in Thailand, but did you see the laughing gas stands?
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that in Full Moon Party episode coming.
Nice.
But
I did make it to a full moon party.
Yeah, separate episode. We gotta stay in Laos. But yeah, go
Okay,
ahead. Did you
yes.
love it though?
I did.
Oh,
Well,
I mean, so you're just on tubes drinking, just like this.
yeah.
And what, like there, there'd just be a rope you pull yourself in,
Yeah. You pull yourself into these bars and just
and then go in and pay. How did you have money? Did you, like a little sack? That's not
probably had a plastic bag of cash.
and little just shit liquor.
Shit liquor, but
Everyone's fucking. Are people fucking on there? Not on the river, but like at night, or is it just all for hanging out?
I did not get laid in Laos, but I assume so.
Did you know other people that did? Wow.
Yeah, I assume people are getting laid in Laos.
Yeah, this might be me. This guy.
Yeah, and then if you go back to the Google search, I saw
Yeah.
one more photo that one looks like, yeah, like at some point you just
Wow.
get like a
Laos' most dangerous attraction.
yeah, the Laos most dangerous
Oh
attraction.
my God. Recording? I am for once. Tubing and Vang Vieng. Wow. 20 people died in 12 months.
Fucking hell. Yeah, so that's. But I have heard it's starting to come back to life.
People are still going to drown and die. I mean, it's like Don't Drink and Die. That's what killed the guy who did the remake of Hallelujah. Whatever his name is.
Well, don't drink and drive. Yeah, definitely don't drink and drive.
No, drink and dive.
Oh yes, yeah. Don't die, but you can drink and float. Drinking and floating, I
Just
think,
don't
is safe.
dive. Look at this.
Yes, never dive and never try to free willy it off a
Look how many
trampoline.
people. I mean, someone's falling off there. Someone's getting drunk and just shoving.
Yeah,
Someone's
I heard
bumping.
part of the problem too is that people would get on rafts, be floating down the river, and then float past all the bars and keep on going, and then just end up in the jungle. It's like if you
'Cause
never,
like, oh, someone will get me. You're used to an American version of like there's safety nets or somewhere it's like into the ride.
yeah, but there's no sign that says this is the end of the ride. There's just like you just at some point need to climb onto the shore.
Like if it's like a terrain park in like Park City or something, there's like a little net like end of terrain park.
Yeah, yeah, you're not getting any
Wow.
signs.
So you
and
just keep
miles.
going, like oh,
You just keep going, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm in the middle of the jungle.
Wow, there's just tigers.
Yeah.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Ari Shaffir. I live in the woods now. The group of people I lived with said my balls stunk. And I said, well, what can I do about it? Nothing, really, right? There's no deodorant for your balls. And they said, you're a fucking idiot. Did you just tell me there's no such thing as deodorant for your balls? And I was like, yeah, is that a problem? They go, get the fuck out of our society. I'm like, wait, guys, give me a second chance. They're like, no, fuck off, man. And I was like, this seems aggressive. And they said, you need to know about Mando. Mando's whole body deodorant will get you smelling fresh on every part of your body. Pits, package, chest, and most of all, balls. And mine stunk, everybody. I admit it. They weren't wrong. They fucking smelled bad. Bandit, come here, buddy. They smell really bad, and they kicked me out of their fucking society. And I said, come on, give me a second chance. And they go, we've given you too many chances already. We're disgusting. The population is literally going down because we can't get boners around you because of your balls and their smell. And I go, what can I do? They said, you can get out. I said, what else I can do? Like, you can do whatever the fuck when you want when you're out. But I suggest get Mando. And I went, will I then be part of society again? They go, no, you won't, because we're done with you. But for your next society, get Mando. So I did. I got Mando, and now my balls don't smell. Hey, buddy. Bandit, where you going, buddy? It's whole body deodorant. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And I reached out to Mando, and they said, hey, what do you want? I said, hey, can I talk to you? They go, dude, you fucking stink. Is that your balls? And I go, yes, my fucking balls. It's my fucking balls. They said, tell your customers about us. Like, why would they want to know? I'm like, well, we got you a promo code. And I was like, give it to me. So here it is to you, everybody. As a special offer for my listeners, new customers will get a $5 off starter pack with this exclusive code. That equates to 40% off your starter pack using code TRIPPIN at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support my show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. It's good now.
Did you see any wildlife while you're on this river?
No, except for humans there.
Look, that is wildlife. I mean, and what's the weather like?
Very similar to Thailand. I mean,
Look at these mountains in the backdrop.
This was the first.
This may as well be Yosemite.
This was the first place I saw the limestone mountains.
Uh-huh.
And like they have those on some of the islands in Thailand too, but those are just beautiful.
Wow.
They kind of look like the Avatar mountains, or
Really?
they kind of look like
Start tubing.
Endor, I think, in Star Wars. One of those movies was filmed in Guilin.
Oh, in there?
Guilin, China has very similar mountains to the ones in Laos, and that's where they filmed the rebel base in Star Wars.
What, like this?
Yeah.
Damn. That's beautiful. Imagine that just like,
That looks more my speed, those pools right there.
wow. Did you see anything like that? Luang Prabang, that's the other city.
Okay, yeah.
Did you ever get there?
I think we had to go there first. We took like one of those sleeper buses. So it was like a 12-hour bus.
I took one of those in Vietnam, and he was like, it's a sleeping bus. I'm like, what's the difference between a sleeper bus and a sleeping bus? And he's like, I'm not the one who speaks English. What is it? And I'm like, I think it's the same thing. And he
Yeah.
goes, no, it's a sleeping bus.
So maybe a sleeper bus might just be a long-ass bus ride. A sleeping bus is the buses that do have
Beds go
a
back.
bed.
The
Yeah.
chairs go backwards.
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
can actually be completely laid out.
Yeah, if you're 5'7" or below, like Vietnamese
Yeah.
people.
Serge?
So like this, you'd float down this and see those mountains in the
Yeah,
back.
yep.
Wow.
All
I
those
mean,
mountains.
forget about the boozing and degeneracy and what'd you call the drug?
Yabba.
Yaba.
Yabba dabba
This
doo.
is gorgeous.
Oh, it was.
If you're just smoking a J,
Yeah.
drinking a beer, this is Montana. This is anywhere.
Yeah, that's why, like, when I first arrived, like, I was in heaven for a while on those shrooms, and then just everything went downhill. And then,
I mean, you did the right thing by taking untested drugs. You did the right thing.
yeah. And by the end of it, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of Laos.
How long did it take your feet to repair?
I ended up, like, I was wearing flip-flops at first. After that, I had to wear, like, socks and shoes for the rest of the trip.
No.
Yeah, because I was just in so much pain.
Damn.
But the worst was actually the cheeks, just because you're surrounded by great food, but then I, like, literally could only drink smoothies because I had so many cuts in my mouth.
Damn. I mean,
yeah.
it just looks gorgeous. Did you keep up with that guy that you were friends with? That you were there with?
Yeah, he now lives in Japan. He married a Japanese woman, lives there.
Yeah.
has a Japanese son.
Damn. That's pretty cool. What else did you get into in Laos? I mean, I
think
know it's
that-
funny because a lot of these trips are Southeast Asian trips.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to cover just one country.
I know.
There's Danny, the other guy too. He's like, I came from China, then went to Laos.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I think after the Abba story, I was like, we got to get out of Laos.
Fuck this place.
Yeah.
You weren't even fucked with. You didn't
Yeah.
get arrested or anything.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, it was just my own doing. I never got arrested or anything. But yeah, so I didn't do a ton of time in
Yeah.
Laos. So I mean, I don't know if you've ever touched on the Philippines. I did a trip there
We'll do that
shortly
next time,
afterwards.
next episode.
Yeah.
I actually have not. That's another place I wanted to go in Southeast Asia, and then just never made it there.
Yeah. No, it's worth going. There's definitely not like a drug scene in the Philippines.
Well, not now, right?
Oh yeah, because they had that guy's no longer in power, but they did
Duarte?
have yes. And
Punishable by death.
punishable by death, but then also he'd be like, if you turn in a drug dealer, we'll pay you like a couple $100. So then people were just like turning in dead bodies and just being like, this guy was a drug dealer, I swear, and getting paid by the government.
Well, that's how the fucking COVID numbers got so high, right? Every death was like COVID.
Oh,
the hospital's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Give us our million.
Yes, exactly. If you search Guilin, China, that's another spot where they have these beautiful limestone mountains.
How do you spell it, you think?
Guilin. Guilin. Yeah, that
Wow.
like that's like the limestone mountains on
Wow.
steroids.
I mean,
And-
look at that.
And
Bigger, bigger, bigger. Look at that, though. God damn. And float down to the river like that and just see all that shit. Wow. God, I want to go there.
I mean, you should. I recently got a visa to China again.
Again, they're still giving them out?
Yeah, they are.
I mean, look at that. Floating down that river would be
It is
tremendous.
incredible. And like if you go, there's Guilin, but then there's a smaller tourist town called Yangshuo where
Yeah.
a lot of foreigners go, and that place is incredible.
I'm going to see where this is in China.
I don't know
That's
what.
why you do it, find a place and then pull back until you realize the context there is Hong Kong down there. Wow, okay. Jesus, landlocked. Shenzhen's right there. Hong Kong's right there. Here's what I think. This is what I want to explore in China. See this, where it's like city, 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 and then this is just blank?
Yeah,
It's just like, why?
there's a lot of desert there. I think isn't that
okay.
like the Gobi Desert?
Oh, okay,
Maybe.
that makes sense. And not just like not worth it
And
cities.
then this area all down here is Tibet, and you need to get like you can't just go to Tibet with a Chinese visa. You have to get like another visa that allows you to go to Tibet.
Wow.
So that's tough. I have not been there. I did go to Kunming, which
Yeah.
is what's that called? Yunnan, and did a hike there called Tiger.
That's where the
Tiger Loop.
Hunan food is from?
No,
Yunnan.
Yunnan, and then there's Hunan.
You did a tiger what? Hunt?
Tiger Leaping Gorge is the name of a hike. It's like a 2-day hike or 3-day hike. I think it's the most beautiful hike I've ever been on in my life.
Dude, I'm trying to get, the Camino de Santiago, whatever. Camino de...
The Camino Real or
Maybe. In
Wait.
like bottom of France to all the way through Spain.
oh no.
So it's like a whatever. But then they
haven't
have
heard of
these in
that.
like Austria, Italy border. And then we did one in Myanmar for like 3 days, 2 nights. And my thought was they must have them in China. These like longer hikes where they just get you places. Appalachian Trail, PCT,
Yeah.
where it's just hella long day hikes.
Yeah, long day hikes, and then they'll have some places where you can
Yeah,
stay
huts,
on
hoots
yeah.
in Austria.
That was awesome. That was like the first.
God,
That was the first.
where's that one? What is it?
It's in Yunnan.
Near Kunming?
Yeah, you would fly into Kunming.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely plan on going back to China because I recently was able to get a 10-year tourist visa. So that means like if I want to go to China anytime in the next 10 years, I
How'd
can
you
go.
get a 10-year tourist visa?
I think so. Over COVID, they kind of kicked a lot of the foreigners out, or they just weren't allowing any foreigners to come. And so many, I would say about 80-90% of my friends that lived in China all left over COVID because the lockdowns were getting really crazy towards the end.
Yeah.
And they're now realizing, they're like, oh, you know what, we would actually like
lot
some
of
foreigners
dollars.
back. Yeah. And so they're trying to promote Chinese tourism again.
Wow. Okay, so I have a couple questions on this pod. That seems like that's unless there's anything else you got into in Laos, but it seems like a quick in and out.
But
it was
dude,
a great story.
That Laos was a blur.
Great fun time though.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to do that. It seems like China I've been to and I want to go back, but it seems like I gotta see. But it seems like that time on the river is really an 18 to 30-year-old time.
Yeah, probably, unless you just hop on the river and float and don't start.
And just float.
Yeah, just
You
float.
gotta drink and booze. God damn, I'm hot in here. This fucking
I feel like you could drink and do some shrooms. That's like, those are, as long as you're not getting blackout.
And also,
drunk.
shrooms are the same everywhere.
Yeah.
pretty
You're never
much
gonna have
know,
to worry
take a
about.
few.
Yeah, you're not gonna be like, oh, I took like a bad batch of
Right,
shrooms.
right.
and
There's
now
no
I'm
bad
fucked.
batches.
No, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. So here's my questions.
Yes.
Generally, I'll tell you both, and you can answer whichever one you want. Where else? Give me another place you're like it's been in your mind you want to go to, and give me a travel tip. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be your number one travel tip. Things that I'll get a lot is pack light, but like anything that you're like, oh, I always try to get this. Mine, now that I'm remembering one, is bring a doob tube, because you're gonna find a joint. You're not gonna want to smoke it right away. It's gonna be ruined. Bring a doob tube.
Bring a doob tube.
Anyway, so what do you got?
I've got one travel hack.
Okay.
If you ever want to bring shrooms abroad,
Yes.
because you don't want to worry about finding them there.
Okay.
I've just been crumpling them up and mixing them in with trail mix, and then resealing the trail mix, and that's worked in like 3 countries.
Yeah, who's gonna look through granola?
Yeah, and be like, whoa, what is this? It just blends in with the rest of the trail mix.
It's a great travel tip. That's
There
a
you
great
go.
travel tip.
There you go. Do I have anything? I wonder if I have any tips for non-drug users.
No, that's okay. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be.
And then a place that I would like to travel to. I've still have never been to India. I don't think it would be like a super comfortable trip,
No, it would not be. No way.
but in terms of filming content, it would be awesome.
So what do you do? You have what's your like deal here? I got some shit up here on you. Wait, you have a YouTube page
Yeah, I
where
have.
you go and do shit.
Yeah, where I've done travel series in a bunch of different countries. When I first started working for Barstool, almost all my content was in China, but like now I've gone all over the place. That's a vid I did with Pong Zai, who's like a Chinese drinking legend.
Really?
He's known for his tornado chugs. When you take a big beer and give it a spin.
Oh yeah, and then it
turns
comes
into, like,
and it just like pours in.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that my most recent trip was actually going back to China, where I went to Hong Kong Sevens, which is one of the most absurd sporting events I've been to.
What is it? Rugby?
It's a
Rugby
it's
sevens?
a sevens event, but they like cordon off the self stands and they just make it like a lawless area, and so it's like a costume party with people from all over the world.
Wow, look at them all dressed up like Egyptians.
Yeah, doing all sorts of substances. I brought
Is that you? No.
yeah.
Wow, you look like shit.
Oh,
You
I
look way
was,
better now.
I was feeling like shit.
You
there.
look way better now than then.
Oh yeah, actually, that's when the Molly was hitting. Yeah, so I'll try to do like 3 or 4 travel series a year, and then put out.
Travel series.
Well, yeah, because I'll travel to a country and then I'll try to drop 6 to 10 vids.
Do you have like
From that country.
like a focus on these things? Is it like about a person, or is it about just like you just let it come to you?
I've like some of them I'll have a goal. I coached American football in Uganda. They're getting into American football out there.
That's another episode.
Yeah,
Let's
so
do
that's
that.
yeah.
That sounds great.
So-
Uganda. No one's been to Uganda.
So-
that's what Israel's going to be. Did you know that?
I did actually. Yeah, I did some research.
They probably should have
then-
gone with Uganda in the end. Too much trouble in Palestine.
Yeah, but I was thinking like Jews get sick very easily. Like they
Wouldn't have been good.
complain about their allergies. I don't know how well they're going to fare with like malaria and yellow fever.
Yeah. Oh, that's you right there. Look at this. Halftime speech. Is that the Ugandan football team?
Yes, it is. That's yeah.
The Wonton Don on Instagram. What is it on
On YouTube, it's the Wonton Don as well.
Wow. God decides I die today. Hell, I'm ready to die. Hell yeah. Well, it's just football, bro. Chill out. You're not a
Dude,
fucking Ferengi.
This guy was born and raised in Uganda, but then he lived in China for a bit, and China's where he learned how to play football.
What?
And so he kind of spoke like he was from Georgia. He somehow picked up like a Georgian accent out there, so he spoke perfect English.
Wow.
But he was like a born leader. He really knew how to motivate the troops.
Wow. And then it's Wonton Don on the Barstool site.
Yeah.
Too.
And like I would say some of the most exotic places I've been would be Tajikistan.
Oh, that's always called me.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the sport of buzkashi?
What is that?
There's like 100 men on horseback. It's pretty much, it's headless goat polo.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I want to see it. You saw it?
Yeah, I got to watch that live. Insane. Because there's no sidelines. So at times you're watching, and then the horses will just choose to all charge the sidelines, and then everyone just has to run for their life.
Damn. All right, Don.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah. You got to come back.
Yeah.
We'll do another country.
I would love to be back.
This is so fucking hot. Why is AC doing nothing? It's getting hotter in here, right?
It did start to get hotter for a bit.
What the fuck? It's set on 64.
Yeah. I guess I'll plug this. I am going to be at the Paris Olympics, so I'll be putting out. It's coming up soon. It's July 26th to
This will be out
August
way past
10th.
that.
But I just found out that the Airbnb I rented does not have an AC.
It's Paris.
Yeah, ACs are hard to come by. So
I went there for a writing class for 2 weeks, and it was like Airbnb's just with AC. It cut it down to like 8%. Everything else was like, no way. Just don't do it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that, but it should be fun.
You're gonna be fucked. You
Yeah.
will not be able to sleep. You are fucked.
Fuck.
But enjoy it. But it's hot as fuck and humid too.
Someone told me he
It's
was like,
sleeping in this. You're gonna be sleeping in this.
I asked the local guy in Paris. He was like, "We've actually had a very cold summer so far."
Fuck off. So far.
Yeah, so far. But then he's like, "But in
I'm sure
August,
August will be fine."
In August, it could be a problem."
Damn.
But yeah, and I recently got a live streaming backpack.
Yeah.
So now, like, I could fly anywhere in the world and do like a live stream because like the backpack has a Wi-Fi modem that works all over the world.
Wow.
So if you ever want to travel someplace random and do a bunch of live streams.
I never live stream, but I would record
Yeah.
places. Live stream kind of sucks because then it's like, I'm here in this place and now I'm like not immersed in it. I'm like still focused on people back home.
Yeah,
Strangers.
like reading the chat and everything like
Yeah,
that.
it's just like, I don't know. I want to just do it and tell you about it later.
Yeah, that's actually the hardest part about making vids. There are times where I always feel like if something cool is happening, I feel like I have to be filming. But
Yeah.
there are times when you just want to sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, like this Laos thing. Imagine like, hey, so you're on this drug. Tell me how do you feel? Where are you going to go next? And you're like, no. Let me tell you at the end of it.
Yep, exactly.
Fuck. Okay, we got to stop. This fucking sucks.
Well,
Don,
hey, man,
it was a pleasure to meet you.
it was a pleasure meeting you too.
Yeah, I'm glad we could finally do this. Sorry, I just fucking rubbed my fucking sweat on my hand and then shook your hand.
No, it's fine.
Everybody follow him
touched
at
worse.
the Wonton
Yep.
Don on everything. YouTube, Instagram, give him a follow.
And
He's
then
got great
on
pictures
Twitter,
all over.
Donnie Does World.
Donnie Does World on Twitter. Get
Yep.
off Twitter, everybody. You should not be on this most negative place in the world.
Yep.
Do you have any pictures from Vang Vieng?
I do. I have probably because I lost my camera, but I think I have like 4.
Can you send them to me?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll put 'em
I'll
up
send
on
those to
YouTube.
you. I have a guy that made a cartoon about parts of the Yaba story.
Oh,
And, like,
really?
Yeah. So if you wanted to throw some clips of that into the pod.
All right. Yeah, sure.
for
Send it
sure.
to me. We'll see what they could do.
All right. Sweet.
Cappy, figure it out. All right.
Let's do it again sometime.
Let's do it again. Everybody, you be tripping. Over and out.
Well, that's the episode, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Don. For real, brother. Anytime you're in New York, I mean, like every time you're in New York, come by. Let's cover another country. Laos. One of my biggest regrets in life is not going to Laos. I did do some fun stuff. There's sometimes you do this thing where you're like, you got to make a decision. Like I had friends who went to, when I was in Ecuador for 6 months, they went to Costa Rica for like 3 weeks. And I was like, I found out later. I was like, it was one of Bandit's friends' owners. And I was like, damn, I'm jealous. And then she was like, but didn't you go to Ecuador for 6 months? I'm like, yeah, but that trip, I would have loved to go. She goes, we went there while you were in Ecuador for 6 months. I'm like, yeah, I want to do both. And I wanted to do both. And instead of going to Laos, I went to a Vipassana retreat in northwestern Thailand. And it was fucking great. It really was quite cool. Fell in love briefly. And I learned some meditation. I'll show you some right now. This is a walking meditation. So you put one foot in front of another one, and you go boo do, boo do. So you go like this. You're just like, it's not kind of like that. It's regular stepping. I remember now. And you're supposed to wipe everything out of your mind. I mean, I guess I'll cover this when I do Thailand for myself. But you go boo. Wait. You're supposed to concentrate on this, but you're thinking, I'm putting my heel down, my toe down. My left heel comes up, my left toe comes up. My right heel comes up, my left toe down, up, down. And then you just clear your mind. All your thoughts of revenge and bitterness and anger all float away as you go heel down, heel up, toe up, heel down, heel up, toe up. I might be doing too much. It might just be like heel down, toe down, heel down, toe down, heel down, toe down, boo, do, boo, do, boo, do. But I'm thinking of revenge. It's like, all right, many people have thought of revenge over the years. You're not unique. Bandit, come here. You're not unique. Everybody's had these thoughts. You're just one of a million people every second that has these same thoughts. That guy's not special. That guy's just one of many. Look at that guy. He's thinking, look at all the people who have thought of revenge. There's nothing special about them at all. Oh, all of a sudden you realize I don't have my thoughts anymore. Boo, do, boo, do. Heel down, toe down, heel down, toe down, heel down, toe down, heel down, toe down. And I did that instead of going to Laos and partying the way Don did. Bandit, come here. Anyway, still jealous I didn't go. I wanted to do the live like a bandit. Buddy, no, come this way. Live like a gibbon. They have the gibbon experience in northwestern Laos, right on the border, right around from Chiang Rai. I wanted to go there. I was told it was really cool. Bandit, come. But whatever. Don, you're a fucking sick man. Leave your votes for guest of the year and episode of the year. Leave your top 10 in the comments from now till the end of the year. And we'll call all of those. I think that's it. Oh no, my special, America's Sweetheart, is coming January 14th to Netflix. Spread the word, you guys. Tell everybody. This is another great one. I'm doing the best I can here, and I got a message for you, and I'm doing it in comedy form. Everything I learned at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, I'm now taking and putting into regular American degenerate stand-up comedy. I hope you enjoy the things I'm doing, and I know you're going to enjoy this. It's January 14th on Netflix.com. Also, I got the farewell tour. Here we go. What do we got? Lake Tahoe, Pittsburgh, agent will be there. Providence, sold out, agent will be there. Tampa, Denver, Schaumburg, agent will be there. Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, the real Portland, the one that's lost its facility to the homeless people. It's a war zone according to the news, but when you go there, it's actually quite nice, and there's great coffee, good donuts. Portland, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Portland, Denver, Tampa, Nashville. Agent will be with me for that. And check out The Dark Queen on Netflix. Have you guys not seen it? I know she's not super popular, so not as many people are going to be passing it around. So I need you guys to pass it around. It's got to be a top 5 special of the year. Got to be. And I say that because my special is next year. Today's episode is produced by Your Mom's House Network. It's edited by Alan Caffey. Thank you, Alan. All right, guys. Until next week. I don't know how to say anything in Laos. Bye.